Artemis II is NASA's upcoming crewed mission to the Moon, currently planned for early 2026. It will mark humanity's first journey back toward the Moon in more than 50 years. However, this mission isn't about landing just yet. Artemis II is primarily a test flight. 4 astronauts will travel on a 10-day mission, flying past the far side of the Moon aboard the most powerful crewed rocket ever built. Today, I'll break Artemis II down into 3 main parts: the spacecraft, the mission profile, and the crew. Let's get started. The spacecraft. Before diving into the mission itself, let's quickly look at the spacecraft. The rocket powering Artemis II is called the Space Launch System, or SLS. It features 2 massive solid rocket boosters on either side, similar to the Space Shuttle, with a large orange core stage in the center. For Artemis II, the boosters have a unique detail. Each one displays a large America 250 logo near the top, commemorating the 250th anniversary of the United States in 2026. It's a fitting tribute, especially since engineers from all 50 states contributed to building this rocket. Above the core stage sits the Interim Cryogenic Propulsion Stage, or ICPS. On top of that is Orion, the spacecraft that will carry the astronauts. Orion consists of several key sections. At the bottom is the European Service Module, ESM, which provides propulsion, electrical power, and life support resources. In short, it's what allows Orion to maneuver through space. Above the ESM is the crew module, the capsule where the astronauts will live and work for the entire mission. For Artemis II, the crew has named their capsule Integrity. When the mission ends, this is the only part of the spacecraft that will return to Earth. At the very top is the Launch Abort System, or LAS. While everyone hopes it won't be needed, it's designed to rapidly pull the crew capsule away from the rocket in the event of a serious emergency during launch. The mission Artemis II follows the success of Artemis I, which launched in 2022 as the first full test of the SLS and Orion systems. But without a crew. Artemis II takes the next critical step by flying astronauts and evaluating all the systems designed specifically for human spaceflight. With crew on board, NASA can test things that simply couldn't be evaluated before: communications, radiation protection, docking systems, food preparation, sleeping arrangements, exercise equipment, and even basic hygiene in deep space. The mission will launch from Kennedy Space Center's Launch Pad 39B in Florida, the same pad that sent Apollo 10 toward the Moon and supported numerous space shuttle missions. Artemis II is currently scheduled to launch no earlier than February 5th, 2026. At liftoff, SLS will become the most powerful crewed rocket ever launched. About 2 minutes after launch, the solid rocket boosters will separate. Shortly afterward, the Launch Abort System will also be jettisoned. Around 8 minutes into flight, the core stage will shut down and separate, falling back to Earth while the ICPS ignites to push Orion toward orbit. After 2 engine burns, Orion will be placed into a highly elliptical Earth orbit, reaching roughly 46,000 miles from Earth at its farthest point. 1 full orbit will take about a day. During this phase, Orion will separate from the ICPS and perform docking and maneuvering tests, helping NASA verify that Orion's autopilot and thrusters work exactly as expected. Once Orion swings back toward Earth, its engine will fire again for the translunar injection burn, sending the spacecraft toward the Moon on a free return trajectory. This flight path allows Earth and lunar gravity to naturally bring the spacecraft home without additional engine burns. A crucial safety feature for a test mission, and the same strategy that saved Apollo 13. The journey to the Moon will take about 4 days. During this time, the crew will practice emergency procedures, including responses to radiation events. Orion includes a radiation shelter, and Artemis II will be the first real opportunity to test how well it protects astronauts in deep space. Artemis II will not land on the moon. Instead, it will perform a lunar flyby, similar to Apollo 8. The spacecraft will pass approximately 230,000 miles from Earth and travel behind the moon, reaching the far side, a region never visible from Earth. The closest approach to the lunar surface will be about 4,600 miles. After the flyby, Orion will make small trajectory corrections before returning to Earth. 4 days later, the crew module integrity will separate from the service module and re-enter Earth's atmosphere, splashing down in the Pacific Ocean. The astronauts will be recovered by the US Navy, completing a 10-day mission. Crew Artemis II will carry 4 astronauts: Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen, each with extraordinary backgrounds. Reed Wiseman serves as mission commander. A US Navy veteran with 27 years of service, he's a pilot, engineer, and former International Space Station commander. He has spent 167 days in space since becoming an astronaut in 2009. Victor Glover is the mission pilot. He's a test pilot, engineer, and US Senate Legislative Fellow. A veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom, he has flown over 40 aircraft and completed 24 combat missions. He joined NASA's Astronaut Corps in 2013. Christina Koch is a mission specialist. She's an electrical engineer, former firefighter, Antarctic researcher, and NASA astronaut since 2013. Koch holds the record for the longest single spaceflight by a woman, nearly a full year aboard the ISS. Jeremy Hansen, also a mission specialist, represents the Canadian Space Agency. He's a pilot, physicist, military colonel, aquanaut, and astronaut since 2009. In 2017, he became the first Canadian to lead a NASA astronaut class. Artemis II will be his first spaceflight, an incredible first mission, taking him all the way to the moon. Final thoughts. Artemis II is a major step toward humanity's return to the moon. While it's still a test mission, it will validate the systems and procedures needed for future lunar landings. The first launch window opens on February 5th, 2026. Though delays are possible, especially with a crew on board, where safety comes first. After more than 5 decades, humans are finally heading back to the moon, and Artemis II is the mission that makes it possible.